G'day everyone, Nick and Andrew here from Hook, Line and Sinker. Welcome to our YouTube channel where we are examining Harty, the journey of the Beast, a project boat that basically started all of our project boats sort of 10 years ago. This was a 23-foot Bertram flybridge cruiser that we purchased and ripped out the stern drive and bolted on what was at the time the world's biggest outboard engine. We understand that at the moment here at 2021 it is not even close to being the world's biggest outboard engine, but back in the day the 350 Yamaha V8 was
it's
that.
Still a substantial outboard engine.
Yeah.
But look, if you've just stumbled across this instalment of our project boat, the Beast, then please go back to, I think this is the 5th instalment.
Yep.
So, you know, go back to episode 1 if you want to and get the full story, you know, where we found this boat which was clapped out. She had an old stern drive in her which wouldn't really go.
Used to go a bit.
She used to go a bit, but it was temperamental. It had been sunk. And look, you know, the journey has involved us stripping it back, putting on a very nice, shiny fiberglass pod or hull extension.
There are a lot of people, a lot of boat owners out there, you know, whether here in Australia or elsewhere around the globe, and every time they go to hit the key on their 23-year-old cruiser or, you know, Penta stern drive, you know, have to have the fingers crossed because you just don't know. There are so many. The thing about those drive systems is that you start essentially with a car engine, an automotive engine.
Yes.
You know, reliable.
Just be careful, you get a lot of haters.
I'm not going to get any haters. I'm not going to get any haters. But then you have to add all the systems around that make it a. Sorry, I've got a call. That's the haters already.
You cannot slag off stern drive.
I'm not slagging them off. I'm just simply saying that you then have to make them
they break down all the time.
Happy in a marine environment. So you have to have marine exhaust. You have to have a separate trim pump. You have to have, you know, in some cases, internal freshwater cooling and external saltwater cooling. All of these things then create maintenance items.
Yes.
And if you are a bit like myself and happy to do some what I call, Andrew, deferred maintenance programs, things that I would put off. If you haven't changed your manifold risers and elbows in the last 8 years, it's something coming for the next person who buys that boat. Anyway.
And it's just before you stop there, slagging off.
I'm not slagging them off. I actually like them.
I know you do.
I like them.
I do too.
No,
I do. I like them when they're going, but I have no mechanical expertise to keep them going.
Yeah.
But the one thing you will find when you do need to buy new manifolds is it is more expensive than you might think. Probably more expensive than the entire engine is worth.
Yes.
And that's not an uncommon complaint. So anyway, we pulled that out. We've put on the at the time the world's biggest outboard engine, 4-stroke 350 horsepower V8 Yamaha. We've already done sea trials in her. She's a fast boat. She's a great boat. In fact, we've actually had to get rid of it. We're to that point.
Yes, so we were able to do the work on the Beast. You know, we paid 30 grand for the boat. We probably spent another, you know, 20-ish doing it up, and in fairly short order, the engine I think was just the engine, $42,000 back in the day. So in very short order, we're at $100,000. We used it for maybe 3 months, and we thought, well, we've got to get this thing off the books, or our little fledgling fishing show will go broke. So we sold it, and it ended up going. We live in Tasmania, which is all the way at the bottom, and it went north, I think, to Brisbane or the Gold Coast or somewhere.
It did indeed. So someone came down, bought it, took it north. That was all fine. It since has had one more owner, and as it turned out, that owner
was a friend of a friend.
You know, and we thought when we were in Brisbane, why not go and catch up with the Beast? And that is exactly what we did, and we filmed it because we put it on our show, and we were very excited. And,
so this is, I think, 8 years had elapsed between us selling the boat and the next time we saw the mighty Beast. If there is one question, Andrew, that we get asked over and above anything else, it's not what your favourite fish is or your favourite place to fish. It is, in fact, whatever happened to the Beast.
We get asked a lot, Nick, and we can now answer that question because here she is. There is Beast. We've tracked down the owner and we're going to go for a ride.
The Beast. are heading out into Moreton Bay, Andrew, and the Beastmaster is this gentleman, Kim Cunliffe. Kim.
Good to meet you, mate.
Mate, what a great treat this is for Andrew and I to be.
Absolutely.
Back on board the Beast some, 7 years?
Yeah.
6 or 7 years since we were last here. Tell us the story of how it's come to pass that you now have the Beast.
Well, we were looking for a family boat.
Yeah.
And we found a Huntsman and we bought it.
Yeah.
Which was really nice.
Good
and then
family boat.
Yeah, it's a nice boat. The motor's not much good. And then my son said to me, the Beast is for sale and it's in Queensland. And I thought, we must have a look at the Beast. So we went and had a look, and we weren't going to buy it.
Yeah.
We were going to be restrained.
Yes.
But we bought it.
Yes. Good.
I
Good
started and
idea.
spoke to the bank manager and told him we desperately needed it for business.
Another boat, yeah.
Another boat. He's going, how do you use it for business? I said, I haven't worked that out yet, but we're going to... and he was a friendly fellow, so yes, we got the Beast.
And so you've had it for a year or so now.
Yeah.
Tell us, what are your impressions? What do you like about it?
Fantastic, beautiful, just a lovely boat. The motor's absolutely fantastic.
It does skip along if you put the hammer down.
You've noticed, it does tend to get up and boogie a little, yes. But it's beautiful. It's just a stunning boat, and it's great for the family.
And away we go. It still brings a smile to my face. Kim and his boys very kindly agreed to take us out for a quick fish.
It's like old times. It's like old times. We've come out here in Moreton Bay, dropped down some baits.
And smack, just like that. What have you got there?
I've
beautiful fish. Welcome back to the Beast. Kim, you happy with that? Is that
Beautiful, wonderful.
like potentially the best fish that's been aboard in your time?
Oh, well, pretty close to it.
But in truth, we were more interested to once more feel and listen to the Beast take flight. Now, I remember this being quite a bit of fun back in the day, mashing the throttle on a 350 V8. Yep. Oh, this is a quick boat. This is a fast boat. We're up and running. There's 30 knots. There's 40 knots. There's 45, and this is without effort. Effortless performance from the big V8 of the Beast. How do you top this? This is very good. Very good. I'm a yobbo. I'm a massive boat.
It's great to know that Australia's fastest 23-foot Bertram has gone to a good home. Absolutely love that V8. How good is it? It sounds like a V8, yet you can have a conversation standing right here. The Beast was an ambitious project, but it was one that we got absolutely spot on right.
Yep, we're pretty proud of the Beast. She was then and still is today an outstanding boat and turns heads everywhere she goes.
So the reality was she went absolutely beautifully and was holding up well and had found, happy new owners.
It still put a smile on, certainly on both our faces,
Yes.
particularly where you go sort of from 26 knots and then you just mash it. And the acceleration, it sits you back in your seat
Yes.
or nearly makes you fall out the back. It is a remarkably well overpowered vessel.
I had one interesting moment in it when we were doing the high speed run to see what numbers we could get out of it. I think we got, I can't really remember, maybe 53 or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so full bore, sitting up in the flybridge, and I thought, she's just laying over a little bit. I'll give her a touch of trim tab.
Oh, yeah.
And the trim tabs had been connected in reverse, backwards as sometimes is the case, or, certainly reverse to me.
Yes.
And it was laying down that way, and I gave it a touch of that, and it went further down there at 53 knots, which is, when you're up in the flybridge, gets your attention.
It's almost like, the throttle man for that boat. So
Yeah,
it's
sort of.
one to steer and the other one on the throttle. No, it's still a very good boat, and we were quite proud walking away from it that we created such a good boat. There were no cracks in it.
Nope.
He'd put a new trailer under it, which was great.
Good idea.
Some new clears, I think.
If you're thinking about a new trailer, what a good idea.
Do it.
It always costs so much. You think, oh God, that costs a lot, but it's a joy. A good trailer is a joy forever.
Yeah. We've never bought a new one.
No, we'd love one.
Yeah,
we would love one. If you've got new ones, please, we'd love one. But we're always too mean to actually pull the trigger. We can, at this point, though, talk about the numbers you get, the hard empirical evidence that would sway you to spend, $70,000 doing up your old boat, which will still be the same boat after you've spent your $70,000.
Well, we've given you sort of the emotional road, the rational road. The fact is, it's now reliable. It's all new. The hull is strong, the transom is strong. There's no rot in the boat. If you're going to keep it, it's a great boat.
Yes. What other benefits do you get? Will it use half the amount of fuel? Sadly, no. Will it create half the amount of noise? Will it be twice as nice to be in? Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So here is a look at fuel consumption, which the Yamaha V8, I believe, is a brand new engine, sort of a new from the ground up engine. I might be making that up, but it was pretty new. So it had lots of cams and valves and that sort of stuff, up against the Chevy V8, which was by no means a new engine. It was a fuel injected one. So we did fuel numbers, we did speed numbers, we did acceleration numbers, and we also did fuel numbers. So we'll have a look at those and then give the comparison between the new and the old. Righto, time to crunch the numbers, and from a noise perspective, the transformation of Beast has been nothing short of amazing. The red line up here is the old stern drive, and you can see it even at pretty modest revs, she's well above 100 decibels, which according to the experts is about 16 times as loud as normal conversation. The blue line down here is the Yamaha, and you can see it's a long way below, just a tick above 90 at cruising speed, which actually, because of the funny decibel scale, is about half the amount of noise, and that is a big improvement, half the noise.
The acceleration test is yet another big win for the mighty Yammi. As you can see from the blue line here, Beast explodes out of the water to 60 kilometres an hour in just 7 seconds flat, whereas it takes the stern drive, well, exactly twice as long. So if you average it out across the range, the Yamaha is 40% quicker than the stern drive. It's kind of like comparing, say, an Aston Martin to an ice cream truck.
One of the other things that we noticed about the Beast is because it's an older boat, almost 20 years old, it's a heavy boat. It weighs 3 tonnes. And in a situation like this where we've got wind against tide and sort of half a metre of chop, it's quite unpleasant. The Beast just powers straight through it. Whatever. It just goes straight through the sea instead of bouncing up and down over the top of it. No substitute for weight.
There is no doubt that all that extra weight helps Beast tame those seas, but by the same token, it does take quite a bit of fuel to get it all happening. This graph shows litres per nautical mile on the left and boat speed on the bottom. And as you can see, it's a pretty close run thing. The thing to remember here though is that the Yamaha has an extra 50 horsepower. That gives you massive reserves of acceleration and speed without any penalty in fuel consumption. So there you have it, folks. New Beast beats old Beast in every single aspect.
And so there she is, Gibbo, safe and sound back on the trailer, the Beast. It's been a real journey of discovery for Andrew and I, this project. What are your thoughts?
Well, the figures stack up. The outboard motor definitely wins over the old stern drive, and with the amount of Huntsmans and Bertrams that are laying around in marinas all over Australia that are half in repair, failed engines, look, why not? Gain cockpit space, add a transom, add an outboard, and away you go with reliable boating.
Usability is the big selling point for this. You know, when we first got that boat, you'd hit the key, it may not start, it might overheat, it might do something funny with this. You just put her in, bang, away you go. So, Gibbo, the Beast has been unleashed.
Yamaha Project 350. Unleash the beast.
And that brings us to the end of our journey of the Beast, our first ever project boat. And it did start for us a sort of a love affair for project boats. I don't know how many we've done now, but it would be in the teens.
In the teens, yep.
And Beast is where it all started. And look, we hope you enjoyed, you know, the journey that was.
It's what people do. You see value, Andrew, hiding away in something that's, you know, that someone else has sort of forgotten or fallen out of love.
Yeah, and look, there is a saying too, they don't build them like they used to. And I think there's a bit to that, particularly in old fiberglass boats.
You
know, they used to build them heavy,
strong,
and
big,
strong.
tough.
And when you want a boat that goes through the ocean, a big, heavy, strong, tough boat is a good thing.
Yes, we're still buying them now. But as you say, this is the end. So that was Unleash the Beast. That was a project that we did in 2009. We're saying we're going to keep feeding this channel because, as you say, we've got heaps and heaps and heaps of stuff. And it's not just all a big old
Bertrams,
although probably next one might be. But there's sort of stuff like where you take maybe an old boat, you know, like a scuzzy old half cab, and cut the top off it and make a, you know, a fishing boat out of it.
Yeah, a brim boat or a bass boat. We've done that. We've taken really old boats and created nice things, like things from the 1960s.
Yes.
Which were full of rot.
We have also even built our own boats. So if you think, if you fancy yourself as somewhat handy like old Hardy here,
carpenter,
stay tuned for that. But thanks so much for watching and enjoying coming along the old Beast Road with us. We've had a very entertaining time looking back at the old stuff.
So remember to hit subscribe and follow our project boat journeys, because everywhere you look, there is potentially a project boat. This, grab that camera.
Yeah. Oh, well, if you manoeuvre the boat, I'll go with the camera. So yes, like and subscribe, folks, because everywhere you look, project boat.
Storm Runner.
Oh, Storm Runner! What a magnificent vessel she is, Drew. Can you see it?